My name's Paige Slaughter. My company is FRUITION Studio, and I am here today to talk to you about content creation and planning and how we start that process with this key tool that I call your creation foundation. And the reason that process is so important is because marketing is so important to our work and our businesses. And when we want to share our gifts with the world, we need marketing in order to do that, because marketing allows us to tell our story, share our message, connect with our people, and make sales. And these sales, of course, allow us to continue to do the work that we do. So, marketing is essential, and I believe that it's not something that should be this dreadful task, this difficult thing. I believe that marketing should be fun and joyful because it's a creative process and it's really about communication. And when we can enjoy the process of planning and creating our content, then we are going to create better content, and we're going to deliver more value to our people, and we're going to get our message out there in a way that resonates more, and we're going to be more effective. So I've worked with lots of small businesses over the years, and one thing that I've come across over and over again is how much fear and confusion and intimidation, and just how many blocks there can be around marketing, whether you're doing all of your own marketing or you're delegating it out to freelancers or your team, or to whatever extent you are actually creating the content. If you are responsible for marketing yourself and your work and having that framework to market what you do, then these feelings are going to come up. And so I have created an online community called Real Content Club. And this is all about coming together to master the 3 elements of engaging with marketing and practicing marketing in a way that feels really good. And those 3 elements are intention, the intention to create quality content and deliver value and be authentic, and the intention to enjoy the process. Support is the second one. So when we are trying to go at it alone, it can be really overwhelming, and we can get stuck in this place of just trying to tackle marketing like this thing that we have to do rather than something that we can really enjoy. And so support comes in from our peers and from experts who can guide us along the way and help us move forward more efficiently, so that we're not spinning our wheels and kind of bouncing all over the place and unsure how to spend our time. When we get support in different on different levels, then we can engage in marketing in a way that actually feels rewarding. And number 3 is process, and that's what we're talking about today. So having a process that really feels good and encourages creativity and leads you down the path of putting your efforts towards marketing strategies that will deliver you actual results that you can see and understand and experience. So all of the result of our marketing and the way we feel about doing it is all starting with the process that we use to plan and create our content. So that said, here we are embarking down this journey of having the intention, tapping into support, and practicing a process that encourages joyful, effective marketing. That process all starts with your creation foundation. So creation foundation is step 1 of my signature content planning and creation process, the FRUITION Method. And FRUITION is in this case, an acronym outlining the steps for a content planning process that is going to deliver great results. So I'm just going to walk us through the elements of your creation foundation. Now, this is something that you do one time or anytime that your business really evolves and you feel like you need to return to it. And this will be kind of a cornerstone of your content planning process. So you'll return to your foundation each month, or at whatever interval you plan out all your content. I like monthly. You can return to this as a tool for getting inspiration and creating consistent content, being consistent with your branding and your messaging. So we're going to start out with these questions. So you can go ahead and scribble some notes as we talk, or like I said, you can click that link at the worksheet and come back to this later. So the first piece of it is, why do you do the work that you do? So I want you to write out, fill in the blanks here. I do what I do. I make jewelry. I sell wellness products. I paint watercolor. I help retirees figure out their finances, whatever it is. Because, why do you do what you do? I do what I do because. Next is, I believe. What do you believe? And after that, my mission is to. So I'll give you an example for my own work. I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs master the art of heart-centered marketing because I want to use my gifts to help people make the world a better place by doing work that they love and having a positive impact on their communities. I believe that marketing is a powerful tool for communication, for storytelling, for connection with other human beings, for tapping into creative flow. I believe marketing is a powerful tool for expression. And my mission is to bring together purpose-driven entrepreneurs to master the art of heart-centered marketing so that together we can build thriving, impactful businesses. We can create real, genuine content that resonates with our audiences, and we can make a positive difference in the world. So that's your first kind of set of answers to why you do the work you do. I fill in the blank because, fill in the blank. I believe, and my mission is to. And again, you can click that link in the description here and get this worksheet. Next is I value. And this is a list of things that you value. What values are driving your work? I value integrity, authenticity, empowerment, connection, relationship, clean eating. I value joy. List out your values. Third part, I want my audience to feel. And this is another list. I want my audience to feel empowered. I want my audience to feel heard. I want my audience to feel creative, organized, strategic, in control. I want my audience to feel understood. I want my audience to feel healthy. I want my audience to feel light, energized. So these three pieces of why you do the work that you do, what you value, and how you want your audience to feel. This is part one of that worksheet. So go back to that other video and click that link to download it. Now we're moving into major topics and themes that you can come back to every time that you create content to help you brainstorm. So you're going to first write out 6 major topics related to your business. So, in my case, this would be blogging, email marketing, planning, design, just kind of major themes related to your work. And then from there, 4 or so subtopics underneath each one. So just get a little bit more specific about those. So these are going to be kind of 6 pillars that you can go back to as you brainstorm content in the future. You can return to these topics and subtopics to give you some ideas about things to make content around. So these are things to talk about, things to teach about, things to reflect on, and just center your content around going forward. And then after that, you're going to write down what colors you use in your brand. So you should either have those ready, or if you don't have a few set colors, definitely get a little color palette together, because colors are going to always show up as you create different types of content, and you want those few colors to be consistent, because over time that creates your image and shapes your message. So think about what colors resonate with you, and what colors kind of invoke those feelings that you want to invoke through your work. Next is imagery. So just jot down a few types of imagery that you want to focus on. So if you have a brick and mortar, this is pretty easy. You can, obviously your physical products are going to be main images that you have. Maybe if you are the face of your business, then some of that imagery is of you. If you're going for a feel of, if you talk about wine, then obviously you're gonna have lots of pictures of wine. So just kind of jot down 3 or 4 types of imagery that you can pull from to use throughout your branding, stuff that's related to what you do. If you don't have a brick and mortar, it's a little bit trickier, and it's also a little bit more important to have this kind of laid out, because I know for me, that's a lot of the time that feels like a big block. Like I have, if I want to post something on Instagram and I already have the caption that I want to say, I have the message I want to say, but I don't really know what image to go for, I refer back to my primary images and do something like that. So for me, it's pictures of me, because I'm the face of my business. It's pictures of my town, my community, and pictures of the outdoors. Because I am connected to nature, I feel that being in nature goes really well with my messaging, and it's also a true part of who I am. So to me, having pictures of trees and hikes and rivers and things like that, even though that's not directly related to marketing, it fits within my overall brand. So 3 or 4 kind of general imagery themes. Finally, your story elements. And these are just kind of cornerstones of your story. So this one's going to be a little bit more up to your interpretation. What are the main points of your story that you always will want to come back to as you create content? What is it that makes your experience special? What is it that contributes to your perspective and your expertise? How did you start your business? How did you fall in love with the work that you do? Did you go through something that was really transformative and now you're passing that on to your audience? What are some key essential stories that you have that you can just reference here? You don't have to write out the full stories here, you totally can. But this worksheet is more about just kind of highlighting on those stories and touching on those stories so that you can remember them when you come back to all of this. And that's it. That's the creation foundation. And so once you have this filled out, it is really helpful in guiding you to create content more consistently. Your branding and your messaging stays more consistent, and you'll be able to come up with ideas a lot more easily. So I want to walk you through my content planning and creation process. It's called the FRUITION Method. And like I said in the beginning, creation foundation is just step 1 of that method. So you do that once. The rest of the method you do each month as you plan out and create your content. So I dive into this much more thoroughly in Real Content Club. When you first sign up, you will go through this course learning the Fruition Method so that you can create and plan your content in this really effective and fun way every month. But I'm just going to outline it for you now so that you have an idea of what it's all about. So F is the foundation. That's what we just did. And that's something, again, that you just do this one time. And then each month you start with R. So R is for review and preview. You're going to review the last month or so, see what you learned, see what worked, check your analytics, check your results, check your comments, which posts had a lot of engagement, check your goals. Did you achieve what you wanted to achieve? So review the last month or so, and then preview the next 90 days. So what are you going to have any launches? Are you going to have any events? Are you going to have any new products or announcements? Do you have any kind of big milestones coming up? Just kind of look ahead at the next 90 days and see and preview what's coming. Next is U, and that is for universal experience. And in Real Content Club, I do a lot of this work for you, and that work involves understanding what is going on in the context of kind of this shared experience that we all have. So what holidays are coming up? What season is it? Are there any kind of important events in pop culture or anything like that that are, should be on your radar? Are there any random holidays that you can use in your social media, like National Cookie Day or National Kindness Day? Things that are just more fun. So this is understanding universal experience and understanding the context of your content for that month. I is illustrate, and this is about creating a loose timeline so that you're illustrating your month of content in kind of a broad way, and you can follow this loose timeline to schedule out more specific content later on. So illustrate the month coming up with those things in mind, the review and preview and the universal context. Now you're illustrating what your month looks like based on those. So now you have a good idea of what your month will look like. T is tune, just like the way that you tune a guitar. We're going to set the tone for the month by titling our pieces of core content. Now, maybe you have 4 pieces of core content, maybe you have 2 or 1. That's totally fine. Choose a number that you can really commit to and stay consistent with, because you'll feel a lot better being successful and consistent with 1 piece of core content a month than you will with doing a couple in 1 month and then falling off. So choose a number that feels manageable. This is not the only piece of content you'll create for the month. It's your core piece of content. And from this core piece of content will come all of your other smaller nuggets of content. So maybe this is a podcast. Maybe it's a blog post. Maybe it's a video. Maybe it's a live. Whatever your main piece of content is, I want you to title it in this step so that you can get really clear, at least a working title of what this piece of content is going to be. Next is another I, and that is for inspired content. So here's the thing about planning. If we plan out all of our content for the month and we get super detailed about everything that we're going to make and put out there, it doesn't leave us any room for tapping into our creative flow and utilizing inspiration when it comes. So this whole method is built on the idea that we want to plan out just the right amount so that we can feel guided and structured, but also leaving us room to be inspired and be creative. So inspired content, here's what I want you to do is write down a few questions that you will ask your audience at some point. And you can, from there, based on their answers, you can create some content that's inspired by the insights that they share with you. And then you're also going to leave some room in your schedule to create inspired content. So if you're walking around and you get an idea and you jot a note down, you know that, oh, on Friday I'm going to have an hour to fill with inspired content. So now I can go use that hour to create this more organic material. O is for optimize, and this is where we milk it. This is where we take our piece of core content and we milk it. We get all of the nuggets out of it that we can, so that this effort we've put in to create this really high quality main piece of content, or a few, from there we optimize that time that we've spent and we create a bunch of different nuggets. And again, in Real Content Club, I'm going to dive into exactly what that looks like and how you go from one piece of content to 10 in a really efficient and genuine and fun way. And then finally, N is for now, and that means after you've planned everything out, start now by creating something. Because a lot of time what happens is we have this great plan for the month and then we feel like we've already accomplished it. And then we set that aside and then suddenly it's 2 weeks later. So the final step of this method is choosing either your piece of core content, or maybe you get inspired and you just want to go live for a few minutes. Whatever it is, start now and do something, give some value right away, so that it kind of sparks some momentum for your content creation. So that is the Fruition Method. It all starts with your creation foundation. So go click that link and download your worksheet. When you do, you're going to be automatically added to my waitlist for Real Content Club, which means that you'll get pre-sale pricing and bonuses, and the opportunity to join before everybody else does. So go get your worksheet, join the waitlist, and let me know. Do your creation foundation. Let me know how it feels. What did you discover about the things that you value, about how you want your audience to feel? What kind of ideas came up for your imagery? I'd really love to know. So thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions, I'm always here. Go get that worksheet, and I'll see you next time.